parade more than 2 centuries ago. Later, it was bookended by the unfinished dome of the Capitol and the still rising Washington Monument as Abraham Lincoln took office. 1 million Americans watched John F. Kennedy travel in the new fallen snow after he asked them to think anew with regard to serving their fellow man. And today, at another moment of great promise and great purpose, we hope you look around you and take note of the Americans of all ages, races, and religions who have come together in celebration of this great tradition and determination to renew America's promise once more. The first inaugural parade consisted merely of a small escort, including citizens just like you. Today's parade features more than 60 groups made up of nearly 9,000 participants, floats, and vehicles, from unicycles to spacecraft. Before the parade begins, President Obama and Vice President Biden will follow tradition by reviewing units from the 5 branches of the armed forces as they assemble to pay their respects to their commander-in-chief.
Ja, nö. Die kommen ja immer, ne? Nee, die Maschine geht schon.
Leading the presidential escort, Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department escort and Chief Kathy Lanier. Presidential Inaugural Committee Executive Director Dave Cusack. President and CEO Steve Kerrigan. Parade Chair Jim Messina. As well as the inaugural committee co-chairs Jake Watson, Stetson, Frank White Jr., Eva Longoria, Ambassador Matthew Garzon, and Stephen J. Harrigan. A musical backdrop from many of the nation's most First Platoon E Company, 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, also known as the Old Guard. Known as the Old Guard, in charge with providing security for the nation's capital, is the 3rd United States Infantry, the oldest infantry unit in the active Army. The ribbons at the top of the Army flag are battle streamers that mark major campaigns that the Army has participated in. The company participates in ceremonies around the Washington, D.C. area, including the White House. Old Guard soldiers maintain a faithful 24-hour vigil at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers and conduct funeral services at Arlington National Cemetery. United States Navy Presidential Escort Ceremonial Guard Platoon. Followed by the United States Coast Guard Ceremonial Honor Guard. Representing the United States Army is the 3rd United States Infantry Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps. The Fife and Drum Corps is patterned after the military musicians of General George Washington's Continental Army. The 69-member unit performs at ceremonies and special events at the White House and throughout the nation. The Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps has performed for every presidential inauguration since John F. Kennedy's in 1961. Established by General George Washington in 1776 as his personal escort and guard, the Commander-in-Chief's guard carries 12-pound Brown Bess muskets and 13-inch bayonets. They have been trained in the manual of arms, as originally taught by Baron von Steuben in the Continental Army at Valley Forge.
Presidential Escort, the U.S. Capitol Police Escort, and the Capitol Police Color Guard under the command of Chief Tim Dye. The Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, the United States Park Police, and the United States Secret Service Police Escort.
Ich bin froh, dass sie vorbei ist. Schon näher oben. Wette ich, dass sie da oben stehen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, and Dr. Jill Biden.
Mexikaner-LKW.
Stehen an. Die laufen oben an der Seite. Die laufen an der Seite.
Da läuft keiner. Die stehen da drauf.
Continuing with the United States Secret Service Uniform Division under the command of Chief Kevin Simpson and the United States Service Color Guard led by Sergeant Salvador Santoyo. We also have the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies. The chairman of the committee, Senator Charles Schumer. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. Senator Lamar Alexander. Speaker of the House, John Boehner. House Majority Leader Eric Cantor. House Democratic Leader Nancy Pelosi. Followed by members of the United States Supreme Court. The Mayor of the District of Columbia, Vincent Gray. And now concluding the Presidential Escort, the United States Park Police Escort, led by Chief Teresa Chambers. By tradition, the Presidential Escort is a military and civilian formation which travels ahead of the inaugural parade. This formation escorts the President, the Vice President, and other dignitaries from the Capitol to the White House at the conclusion of the swearing-in ceremony. The Presidential Escort traces its roots back to the first inaugural George Washington, who was escorted to the steps of New York's Federal Hall by members of the United States Armed Forces to be sworn in as the first President of the United States.